Welcome to the Front Office Podcast, episode 2, season 2. We are extremely happy to be here. Going over a little bit of NFL today. As you already know, if you're a subscriber, if you're not, make sure you hit the subscribe and like button on the video. We definitely appreciate the love. Our co-host is Sean Elwood. As I was saying, in this particular format, it's a quick record and I could do it at home and kind of get a few things off my chest. So I definitely have a rant today having to do with the NFL. I'm glad it's back. I know y'all glad it's back. As you can see, I'm rocking my Justin Jefferson jersey tonight. Normally it's all independent. But, since I'm a pretty super Vikings fan, I must say that the Vikings are sponsoring the show tonight. Let's put it that way. They just don't know that, and I'm not getting paid for it, but it's cool. Hope everybody's doing all right. Enjoyed the last episode. Again, we're going to have some interviews coming up here real soon with me and Elwood and some guys that we feel you guys want to hear from. So I'm kind of nervous about the interview process of it, just making sure I'm asking the right questions and doing the right things. That's, just being kind of a little bit of a perfectionist, but I think I'll get it together. But let's move on to the rant. All right, so Marcus's rant for today, I'm not even sure the date, but is Mike Greenberg from ESPN. Mike Greenberg is one of my favorite TV personalities, media people. They call him Greeny. Super huge Jets fan. Greeny's funny. Love the show Get Up. He's always on point with stuff. When he doesn't know, he doesn't try to act like he knows. He does a good job of carrying that show and being the host of that show. So just in case, Greeny, you actually happen to get a hold of this recording or this podcast, I'm going to keep it clean, in case you want to use it for the show. All right. So Greeny, everybody knows what happened to Aaron Rodgers is super unfortunate. I think 3 or 4 snaps into his season, he goes out, tears his Achilles. They just got him. It was supposed to be a big year. They're Super Bowl contenders. It's a tragic story. It really is. But my issue with Greeny is Greeny has been using his platform at ESPN to push a trade that directly affects my team, the Minnesota Vikings, if you haven't figured it out by now. Been a Vikings fan my entire life. Haven't rooted for any other football team but the Minnesota Vikings, good or bad. I roll with the punches. My issue is the proposed trade. The proposed trade that Greeny is pushing is that the Jets should be calling Minnesota right now and trying to make a deal for Kirk Cousins. Okay. Let's just be real clear on this. It might even make really good business sense in the NFL world. Kirk has an expiring contract. We're 0-2. Of course, a lot of people don't think we're going to compete for a Super Bowl at any point in time. And it's rumors that Kirk is not the guy in Minnesota. From everything I know, from what the wide receivers say, what the blogs say, everybody in Minnesota loves Kirk Cousins. Now, they might try to blame him for stupid stuff that's not his fault. Like if our defense that has so many holes in it currently, gives up a big play, Kirk goes down there, ties up the game, puts us up 1, and then our defense can't stop anybody. That's not Kirk's fault. He don't play defense. I understand why you want him, Greeny. My issue with you is you made this bed, you need to lay in it. Okay? All summer, you've been going on the show in such a great mood. Y'all got Aaron Rodgers. Y'all got the Hard Knock Life. The Hard Knocks feature on HBO. And you're on there dancing with Harry Douglas every time they get an answer right. You're in a great mood. Man, I get it. You lost your franchise guy. You lost Aaron Rodgers. Don't use your platform to try to change the narrative or create a narrative that Kirk Cousins needs to leave Minnesota. As a Minnesota Viking fan, I don't want Kirk Cousins going anywhere. I don't care what our record is. Kirk is the very best option we have at quarterback right now. I like Kirk. He's gritty. He's tough. He's a quarterback. A lot falls on him, but he doesn't play defense. And I'll be real honest, talking to my subscribers now. I'm not really happy with what's going on in Minnesota. I liked the new GM last year. He had a great draft. I thought he did good in draft this year, but then when we lost to the Giants in the first round, it's changes need to be made. And I got a partner of mine, my homeboy Kane, and we talked about this all the time. First thing is you let Dalvin walk out the door free and clear. You don't get a third round, you don't get a fourth round. And I get it. The NFL is not valuing running backs right now, which is a damn shame, but they aren't. It's guys that should be getting paid pretty big money, and they're not because I guess as a whole, those owners are saying, hey, we're not paying these running backs this kind of money right now, which is why a lot of them are holding out and trying to get their money and trying to do what they need to do. So, but for you, our GM, to not get any kind of a deal, anything done, and you just let him walk, you cut him, it's crazy to me. No offense to Mattison. I know he's had some 100-yard games. I know he's a good player. I know he's a really good player. But our line hasn't been great for a while. And I would say probably about 3 or 4 years. So if they can barely protect Kirk Cousins, you're going to need a running back who's got that second gear that can kind of, be a home run running back as well as run in between the tackles. And I don't think Mattison is a home run running back. Now, you can say we're going to do it by committee. And as a fan, I'm going to stay in a fan's place. I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust what's going on. I'm going to trust that our GM, our defensive coordinator, Kevin O'Connell, everybody knows what they're doing. But as of right now, it's looking real shaky. But, yeah, Greeny, stay away from my guy. Just don't push that narrative. Zach Wilson is your guy. You made your bed. You lay in it. But just real quick, I'm going to do another episode for NFL overview before Sunday's games. But just after the first 2 weeks of the season, this is pretty much what I got. NFC, I think the cream of the crop right now, of course, everybody's screaming the Cowboys. Completely agree. They've looked absolutely dominant in both games. The Eagles are up there. They're 2-0. Sneaky team in the NFC is probably right now Atlanta. Atlanta's 2-0. Atlanta's undefeated. Tampa's undefeated with Baker Mayfield. They beat us at home, first game of the season. 49ers is another team that's going to be a team to be reckoned with in the NFC. So, but it's really, really early. I want everybody to understand I'm not holding the candle to none of this because one injury, as we saw the other night with Nick Chubb going down, can change the whole dynamic of your team. They just lost a 1,000-yard rusher for the past 3 or 4 seasons. Completely changes the dynamic of what they're trying to do. And now they're trying to get replacements. But they didn't go and try to steal somebody else's running back. They, brought in Kareem Hunt today. Pretty sure he'll sign because he can kind of push them to the max as far as money-wise is concerned. And that might work out for them. We'll see what happens. Their defense is legit. It was a tough loss against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh needed that win, though. They had a really bad showing the first week of the season, but they were playing a really good team. And Kenny Pickett is still young. He's not, from what I saw last night, he's not comfortable in that offense. And maybe not even the offense. I just don't think he's comfortable back there as a starting quarterback just yet. That's a really good defense he was going against, and most NFL defenses are. So you can't say, oh, well, he's going to look better against this team. And, he plays in the AFC North. The Bengals have a good defense. The Ravens have a good defense. Cleveland has a good defense. So you're not really going to get a break in that perspective. And Pittsburgh has a good defense. So, but, yeah, I say Dallas, 49ers, Tampa, Eagles, Atlanta. Those are the guys that are leading the pack as far as being undefeated. In the AFC, my surprise team, Cincinnati's 0-2. I don't know if Joe Burrow's actually still hurt from the training camp injury. I watched the game against the Ravens because I play fantasy football like most of us do. Got 2 money leagues going on. And I got Lamar in one, and he had such a bad showing week 1 that I was nervous. So I just kind of tuned into the game. He looked good. He looked more like Lamar, but Joe Burrow does not look like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow looks pretty bad out there right now. And I don't know if that's because he's playing through injuries. And a lot of people are like, oh, he can't really move and things like that. But they're not even pushing the ball down the field. I think Jamar Chase has like a handful of catches in 2 games, which is crazy because last year, like every time Joe Burrow stepped back to throw the ball, it's either Higgins or Chase or Boyd. He was really spreading around, and I'm not sure. Like I said, it may be a situation where he's actually hurt, but they need to get that together because 0-2 is not a good look in that AFC. The Ravens that I just mentioned are 2-0 with their new offense. OBJ looks decent. The kid Zay Flowers, I got him on one of my fantasy teams. He's a go getter. Yeah, they're gonna use him a lot. Great fantasy pickup. The Dolphins. Shout out to my man Kevin Dudley again. That's his team, the Miami Dolphins. Definitely look unstoppable. They are scary. Tyreek Hill is scary. I joke with Kevin all the time, and I'll be like, yo, I want him tested, bro. Like, there's no way he's supposed to be moving that fast all the time on every single play. But he's amazing. He's having an amazing year. Tua looks really good, and you got to think they're still missing Jalen Ramsey. When they get him back, that defense is going to look even better. The Chiefs are 1-1. Probably should have beat Detroit opening night, that Thursday night, I think that was. But they were missing Kelsey, and that hurt. And with football is so many players that can affect the outcome of the game that makes a big difference, and he's a big part of what they do. They squeaked out a win against Jacksonville on Sunday. Not really impressed, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried because the Chiefs are the Chiefs. And I'm not going to say they're not hungry or anything like that. I think they have what all champions have, which is a superior confidence that when it's time to turn it on, they can do it. You can't knock them for having that, but you can just say be careful and let's just see if they really can do it. The Patriots, because of the way that they play, they had a system, and it didn't matter who they were playing. They're coming in and playing the same way. I don't think that's the case with the Chiefs. You got outstanding players. You probably got the best quarterback in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes. Definitely the best tight end. I say Andy Reid is up there as the best coach. You plug and pick players and put players in different places, but if you got that as a nucleus to build off of, that's a pretty good nucleus to get where you need to be as far as trying to shoot for a Super Bowl every year. So, not impressive so far, but I'm not worried about them. Jacksonville is 1-1. Jacksonville is definitely my sleeper team out of the AFC this year. I don't think they go to the Super Bowl, but I definitely think they got enough talent to get to the AFC Championship game. I think they're going to surprise some people. I think their defense is sneaky good. I think Trevor Lawrence is just really at the beginning of what he can be. And that's going to be something that's to keep an eye on. I do think he's a major player when it comes down to quarterbacks, and we start talking in maybe 2 or 3 years about the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. I think you're going to be saying his name. One team I didn't write down, I just kind of thought of while we were actually just kind of going over this, is Buffalo. And I got a partner of mine, Frank. I got, of course, everybody's got friends who are certain NFL teams, and I would say I'm pretty much know every team in the NFL. I know somebody who's a fan of them. But my guy Frank, he's really from Buffalo. Him and his lovely wife Kenya, who works with my wife. Shout out to them. Huge Buffalo fans. I think it's trouble in Buffalo. They 1-1, and I'm gonna tell you why it's trouble in Buffalo. Stephon Diggs, former Viking, the man who caught the Minnesota Miracle. Stephon Diggs is not a troublemaker. I think he's a good player. His brother plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, y'all know that. Stephon is super talented. He is a great wide receiver, top 5 for sure. I don't care how you want to break that down, pound for pound. He can go to work with the best of them. From what I've noticed with him being in Minnesota, and I see in Buffalo, I'm not going off of what the media is saying. I'm going what I see on the field, what I see you saying to Josh Allen on the sidelines. He has a bit of an ego problem, in my opinion. And it's like, give me the ball. And everybody's going to be like, well, that's what the great players do. You know, the great players say they want the ball and they should have the ball. But, you know, we're not in an age where people can just go around and talk to people any type of way. You know, everybody has an ego. I'm pretty sure Josh Allen has an ego, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't like being shown up on the sidelines and having to have an offensive lineman come in and step in and tell you to get out his face. You know what I mean? But, you know, again, I'm going to stay in a fan's place. This is just my opinion. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people. You know, they pay a lot of money for tickets. And I understand NBA and NFL players, you know, not buying into too much of what a fan has to say, because that could be bad for your mental. You know, I'm a real super fan, bro. And somebody goes out there and messes up, you know, I'm not going to be easy on them. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to go on to Twitter and tag them and be like, oh, this guy's the worst and do all that shit. But there's a lot of people who do that. There's a lot of people who do that. And, you know, more power to y'all, man. I'm not putting that much energy into another person that nothing that I can do is going to control the outcome of what they do. They literally are entertainers. They're football players. They're basketball players. We're privileged to be able to watch them play and do what they do. That's why they get paid so much money. So I generally am going to stay in a fan's place in regards to that. But from what I see, he's a problem. And he was a little bit of a problem in Minnesota. It was, you know, I need the ball. Even though what we got going on is working great, it wasn't working great for him. So, again, it's not an attack on him. I'm just saying, as far as football-related stuff, this is what I see. And I hope they can mend that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they, you know, can make a move. But I can tell you, if you're a Buffalo fan, I would definitely be worried, because that's not a good look to have a guy that talented and another guy on the team that is your franchise player, not on the same page. You know, so I'm gonna watch closely to their game this week and see how that looks. But they are 1-1, so they are getting it done. It's not like they're struggling or anything like that. This is just kind of my opinion, what I can see down the road. Niners, like I said, in the NFC, Niners, Eagles, and Dallas. I think it's a race between them right now. And in the AFC, I would say the Chiefs. I'm always going to put them up there until they just not playoff eligible. I think the Ravens have a real shot this year. If they can get healthy on defense, they were missing a lot on Sunday against Cincinnati. They were missing a lot of players. And I think if Cincinnati hadn't been playing so bad, they might have actually been able to pull out that game. Almost did, honestly. But Lamar, you know, he was great. He was great on Sunday. So we'll see what they look like, but I do think they're in the mix. Dolphins are definitely in the mix. Chargers are a little bit surprised now. We play the Chargers Sunday. That's going to be an interesting game, because I think that's two desperate teams. I'm not sure if the Chargers won their first game, if they're 1-1. Very talented. Keenan Allen, if he's healthy, he's top 5 wide receiver, or top 10. I'd say top 10. But he's a dog. Justin Herbert is really good. They got a pretty good defense. Shout out to my man Eric Kendricks, man, linebacker from the Vikings. I hated that we cut Eric Kendricks, but I get it. You know, you're trying to get younger. You're trying to change the defense. You're bringing in a new coach. But Kendricks was definitely a fan favorite. You know, so shout out to him, man. He playing for the Chargers. Don't come back. Don't come and try to give us 4 or 5 sacks, man. Just take it easy. But yeah, the AFC is wide open. It's early though. Dallas fans, I'm not gonna bash y'all, man. I just calm down, man. You know how y'all are. You know how y'all are, man. As far as y'all concerned, y'all already in the NFC Championship game. You know, the unreasonable Dallas fans. It's not everybody. The unreasonable ones. From what I can see though, it's looking real good over there. I love to see them play somebody who can match their defensive line, and I'm not sure if there is an offensive line that can match what they do on that D-line, but that'd be interesting to see. I think the key with them is, can Dak win you some games? I get that y'all asking him to not lose you games, but can Dak go out and win you games? I think he can. Dak's an elite quarterback. He really is. He's a big guy, mobile, big arm. but definitely a little prone to the turnovers. So that would be my only question with them is, can Dak win you a game? And if he can, and he can do it consistently, and the defense wins you games consistently, and they can put all that together and be injury free, yeah, I can see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl as of right now. But we'll see how that plays out. Elwood, man, Elwood is a Carolina Panther fan. He's gonna have a rough year. He's gonna have a rough year. But the future's bright. Bryce Young looked pretty good against the Saints the other night. He's a short guy. I don't really trip on the shortness because Drew Brees was short and he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But is Carolina gonna do what they need to do? Put the pieces around him. I think they're gonna have to draft well for the next couple of years and pick up some savvy vets in free agency and convince some people to come down to help Bryce Young, because you're starting from day one and you could really derail that kid's career if your team isn't set up properly. And from what I can see, they've been losing players left and right to the injury bug. I think that's biting everybody in the NFL right now. And one other team, and then I'm going to get out of here, give me some sleep. Y'all know I like to do this midnight riding. Pause. I meant recording at midnight. That's it, bro. Like, don't do that. Denver with Sean Payton, I thought would look better. Russ literally looks like he's declining right after he got that money. I mean, he looks like he is declining like right after he got that money. As soon as he got that money from Denver, he has been shit. He has looked bad, and I'm pretty sure it's not all his fault, but he has definitely not looked like Russell Wilson. So I'm going to keep an eye on Denver as well, man. But I'll do another college update on Friday. I'll try to record my episode for Sunday on Saturday night so we can go ahead and get that up. And then, like I said, we have a couple interviews coming up with you guys. We're going to have some merch this year. Fantasy football lovers, man, we're going to do a league next year, straight cash. You don't have to put anything up. We're going to be giving away some money. And whoever wins, you get a little small trophy, you get some money. So, tap in now so I can get a list together. We're going to do a 12-team league. So it's going to fill up pretty fast. And once again, anybody who subscribed to the channel, man, thank you for rocking with us, man. We really appreciate it. Seriously. We have fun in doing what we do. I love doing this. I might not yell and scream and be all animated like some other people, but I really enjoy sitting back and talking football, basketball with you guys. It's therapeutic for me. So instead of arguing on Facebook all day. But there is a lot of things on the horizon for the Front Office Podcast. Like I said, I got my marked up clothing line. We got some merch coming. Elwood's got some things he wants to do. He's trying to convince me with this baseball shit. I'm not with it. I'm not with the baseball shit. But I can watch baseball, man, in the playoffs. I can't watch 150 games and shit. Like that, come on, man. That's just too much damn of any sport. But for right now, I'm going to just enjoy football. Basketball's around the corner. That's it, man. Peace until Friday. And like I said, I'll get that college preview. We'll give out some picks this week. I'm going to get Elwood to give out some picks, and we'll, chop it up, spice it in the video. I didn't do too well against him. I think I ended up losing 1-2 when it came down to that NBA playoffs. So we'll see if I can get a better record. As always, like I said, thank you so much, man, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Peace.